Your brain is biologically wired to see ghosts in empty rooms. In 1990, cognitive scientists discovered a glitch in human DNA. Why do you still cross your fingers when you are terrified? Are you truly seeking protection, or are you just running outdated survival software that accidentally built the modern world? Imagine standing alone in a dense prehistoric forest. A dry branch snaps in the darkness behind you. You have two distinct choices in this split second. You can assume it is just the wind rustling the dead leaves, or you can assume it is a hungry leopard stalking its next meal. Which assumption keeps you alive long enough to reproduce? If you guess it is a predator and it is only the wind, you lose nothing but a few calories. But if you guess it is the wind and it is actually a predator, your bloodline ends tonight. Evolutionary anthropologist Stuart Guthrie called this survival mechanism the hyperactive agency detection device. It means your mind is permanently biased to detect intention where absolutely none exists. Are you starting to see how this shapes your reality? You are the descendant of paranoid apes who survived because they assumed every shadow was a monster. Your early ancestors survived precisely because they were highly superstitious. They saw angry faces forming in the dark storm clouds. They heard intentional voices rumbling in the summer thunder. They attributed a devastating month-long drought to a vengeful spirit rather than a random shift in atmospheric pressure, creating a narrative they could actually comprehend. You might proudly think modern humans have completely outgrown this primitive instinct, but the real answer is far stranger. Today, you yell at your computer when it freezes. You treat the inanimate machine as if it is intentionally punishing you for running late. You wear a lucky, unwashed shirt to a crucial job interview. Why do intelligent modern humans desperately cling to these invisible patterns? The core biological answer is control. A chaotic, entirely unpredictable world produces paralyzing levels of toxic cortisol inside your brain. But assigning a familiar face and a specific name to the chaos suddenly makes it manageable. In a classic behavioral study of professional baseball players, anthropologists found that 90% of elite hitters use bizarre, elaborate rituals before stepping up to home plate. The opposing pitcher completely controls the ball, but the physical ritual gives the batter a necessary psychological illusion of personal control. When prehistoric humans faced devastating famines and mysterious plagues, they needed a similar psychological shield. They invented complex rituals, animal sacrifices, and powerful gods to negotiate with a terrifying reality, completely unaware that evolution had a different plan. Religion did not just soothe prehistoric psychological anxiety, it accidentally became the ultimate invisible technology for mass human cooperation. As hunter-gatherer bands gradually grew larger than 100 people, basic social trust began to collapse. Strangers naturally started cheating on trades, stealing food, and secretly hoarding limited winter resources. To survive in massive numbers, you desperately need a reliable way to make people behave when nobody is physically watching them. Evolutionary biologist Joseph Henrich formulated the big gods theory to explain this exact tipping point in early human history. He realized that a watchful, punishing deity acted as the ultimate, unblinking police force. How could you secretly steal your neighbor's grain if an all-knowing creator was watching your every single move from the sky? This bizarre psychological hack allowed tiny, isolated tribes to scale into massive, sprawling empires. Suddenly, thousands of unrelated strangers could safely trade. They could build monumental architecture and fight alongside one another. They did this simply because they shared the same invisible overseer monitoring their moral behavior. Sprawling cities rose directly from the dirt, entirely held together by a brilliantly shared hallucination of order. It was a virtually perfect operating system for 99.9% of human history. But in 2016, cognitive researchers finally documented a dark side to this ancient survival mechanism, and it explains why internet conspiracy theories spread like wildfire today. Are you prepared to realize how easily your own biology manipulates you? Your brain is still hopelessly desperate to find a hidden, intentional architect behind every random, senseless tragedy. When a terrifying global pandemic strikes, the raw uncertainty feels physically unbearable. When the entire economy unexpectedly crashes, your nervous system completely panics. To your primitive amygdala, your body doesn't know the difference between a plunging stock market and a stalking leopard. Both immediate threats trigger the exact same prehistoric biological alarm bells. You naturally reject the truly terrifying truth that nobody is actually at the wheel of the universe. Instead, your desperate mind forcefully connects random dots, inventing shadowy cabals, secret societal agendas, and deliberate cover-ups. You do this because a dark world controlled by evil villains is still vastly less terrifying than a chaotic world controlled by random chance. Why accept a universe of cold, unfeeling static when you can invent a villain to fight? Every modern superstition is just your biology trying to keep you safe. Every ancient myth and grand political conspiracy is just your hyperactive agency detection device working overtime in the background. Your clever ancestors conquered the entire planet by stubbornly refusing to believe that anything ever happened by pure accident. They transformed raw biological fear into organized faith. They then used that faith as the bedrock foundation of every modern society on Earth. Your brain is biologically wired to see ghosts in empty rooms, but those invisible ghosts are the exact biological terror that built human civilization.